And I want to thank you for joining our third session, third of three for now, of our Lama Tsong Khapa Guru Yoga practice. Thank you so much for joining. And I'm just looking to see, and I think Patty, Ron is here. So Ron, you're the one who sent some questions, is that correct? Great. I'm going to try to answer those questions for everyone this evening because I thought it would be helpful for everyone, if that's okay. And thank you all for joining. And once again, we were just talking about etiquette. So it is nice to have your camera on. We're not eating or drinking if you can. And unless you're physically impaired, because Kim mentioned she might need to lie down because of an accident, that's different. But you want to feel like you're in a gompa, and that's really, for your mind, the best way to proceed. So I'd like you to just relax for a moment wherever you're seated. And I want you to get your mind in the right frame with a wonderful motivation. And I've just been talking with a lot of people in general about, and people have gotten really toppled with the state of the world. However, you have to remind yourself, if you are on this path, the Mahayana path, Tibetan Buddhism, okay, you have found a jewel, right? You have a system that will free your mind ultimately, okay? You have a system that will create, it has you on a path where you can become a fully realized being, a Buddha, fully awakened being. So you have a process and a technique that has been shown for generations to work, to make you blissfully happy. Okay. But the real point is to fully empower you to help all living beings everywhere. And that's a source of your happiness. So we have that. And our practice is polishing that jewel, okay, till it's completely clean, clear. We're completely free of all the negative tendencies, gross and subtle. And you have this ability right now. So I find this is what keeps me buoyant, rather than me railing and ranting, complaining, judging, criticizing with negative, 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 right? Which only tends to reverberate that more in the space around me. So if I'm feeling like, you know what, every day I'm waking up and I'm trying to find the best way to be that day with all the gratitude and grace, and then engage myself in some practice that moves me along that path, right? Because then I can really help all living beings. And that's my motivation for the day. Can I direct the activities of my body, speech, and mind as much as I can throughout the day? Sometimes I drop the mindfulness. That's normal. I'm a human being. I can only try my best. But that's where I'm directed. That's what I'm doing, okay? For that bigger purpose, to benefit all living beings. That's the grace. So take a moment, if you like that motivation, please reflect on that, okay? Or at least why you're here this evening, and in some way orienting your mind in a most positive way. And take a moment right now to set that intention for our time together and all the activities of the rest of your day. So through this Guru Yoga practice, let us get in touch, okay, with those qualities that are exhibited by our teachers, by these spiritual leaders, the authentic ones, okay, but recognizing them in ourselves. So I want to read a little bit first before we start, a little bit more about Guru Yoga and Guru Devotion that we often confuse in Western traditions. So there is, Guru devotion is related to Guru yoga, very related. And we have these issues. And so Lama Zopa Rinpoche didn't always use the word Guru devotion. I want to speak about that too, is he would sometimes say, pleasing the virtuous friend, that you're doing practices that please the virtuous friend. So one thing I wanted to mention, and Guru yoga is part of this, connects you to this. Okay, we kind of say, what does that mean, pleasing? That virtuous friend means your teacher, spiritual teacher, your guru, which is what guru means. Lama, again in Tibetan. Lama, one who is heavy, meaning heavy with realizations. Okay? But we have this idea, devotion, it's like someone's going to take over our mind, our life. Not at all. It's about you getting free. I'm talking about authentic, pleasing the virtuous friend. If you believe you have a teacher who's highly realized, and you've checked a little bit by seeking some simple advice from them first, right? And you follow that advice, right? This was my trajectory. And then you like the result, you weigh the result of that advice, okay? And you see that it worked and you're getting better. And you feel a little bit more invested in your practice. And then later you go back to them asking another piece of advice that you can follow, that you can do, because you don't want to ask without following the advice. And you see that their advice, they are authentic and their advice is making you better and is helping to clear some obstacles for you on the path. So if you believe this person has those qualities to guide you, and they seem to be highly realized, and you're not going to really know if they're a Buddha, they don't tell you that, but you can see through that relationship that you build that they may have some insight into getting free, especially the highly realized beings I'm talking about, okay? Then you want to please them, because when you make them happy, it means you're getting closer to enlightenment. That's all they want, is for you to be free. Okay. So there's a psychological thing around it as well. Okay, and it's often misunderstood. Okay, so I want to just talk about it isn't about surrendering your intelligence to someone. Okay, it isn't about being dependent on a teacher. It's actually a method for transforming, okay, how the mind relates to itself. Okay, this is about you and your mind. Okay, and they are the ones, the highly realized beings, that happen to know more about your mind. They know what worked for their minds that got them free. So again, this is really a method, and relate, same as Guru yoga, for transforming, okay, how your mind relates to itself. And just to give you ordinary example, is we have a lot of things that go on, and there's a Dharma practitioner recently sent me an email, and in the email made a mistake about scheduling tour or something, okay? Not a big deal, okay? And also, how many of you, as human beings, how many of you make mistakes? I make mistakes all the time, okay? So she made a mistake in this email, and again, for me, wasn't a big deal. But I wrote back and I corrected and said, oh, by the way, when you do that, can you not copy them my phone number? I'd rather email. Wasn't a big deal. It was a really simple way that is. And I could see she got all down on herself about it. Was a whole, and she sent me many messages, and I said, no worry, this is not a big deal. Like, let it go. But so immediately you do something wrong, and then and this is the mind relating to itself. And the mind relates to itself. I'm not good enough. I'm terrible. I made mistakes. None of that is really true. Okay, that's not real. But that's a habit of telling yourself that for years and years and years and that. And then your external reality starts to reflect that back to you. Am I communicating? People understand? Okay, so this is why Guru devotion and Guru yoga just light me up. I mean, this is the saving for us, how to get the mind better oriented. Okay, so what it also does, okay, it's bypassing the ego's defenses. Bypassing the ego, again, the ego, wants to protect, and you hold on to stuff. So holding on to a mistake, oh, that's where, that's not true. You don't need to do it. So Guru devotion, Guru yoga makes you more open, okay, less defensive, okay, more receptive to transformation. Sounds pretty good, Okay. So instead of constantly, and this is us, right? See if this is you. Do you relate to this? Okay. Constantly evaluating and resisting. Okay. So through the Guru Yoga, the mind releases its grip on this self-protection, because what you're protecting, by the way, doesn't exist at all. Okay. What you think you're protecting. Okay. And this relates to emptiness. Again, what you think you're protecting, me, my identity, who I think I am. And granted, that all goes along with my place in the world and my family and my friends. But a lot of that doesn't at all exist the way you think it does. But we prop ourselves up. Am I communicating? People understand? Okay. So again, like what a nice thing to just poke some holes at that. Poke some holes, and kind of when I get a story going about myself, I'm not good enough, I messed up, or I'm overinflated. I'm the most important thing in my universe, get out of my way. When I remember the guru, when I think of that in my training and do more training through Guru Yoga, right, it softens up your mind. And so that idea may get going where you think you're better than others, or you think you're worse than others, but you're more able to catch it and go, wait, that's not fully who I am. That's not fully who I am. And then here's the next thing is we have a projection onto the guru. So people even project on me as a lowly nun. They think I'm perfect. They think I'm clairvoyant. That is not true. But people project. But we project a lot on our teachers. Okay? We need them to be. But you do see occasionally His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Lama Zopa Rinpoche. You see perfect wisdom manifest. You see compassion, fearlessness, a clarity, okay, that can cut through watching His Holiness sometimes give these highest yoga tantra commentaries I've watched, attended. He'll go through 2 different commentaries that are on their own, each one incredibly dense, profound, and there's His Holiness just flipping back through the different ones, and in this one, Shirabaku Gyatso says, da 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 da, and this one says, in the Luipa tradition, it amazing to have that kind of mind. So you get inspired and you'll project this highest potential of the mind. Okay, they have it. You go, well, they have it. I know they have it. Okay. But here's the thing. They're just a reminder that you can develop that in yourself. Okay. That's the crux of the Guru devotion, Guru yoga practice helps connect you to that. You can develop that in yourself. You're not there yet. You're not a Buddha. Okay. But let their qualities inspire you to get on your cushion, to do the practices they advise. And you might say, well, I don't have a teacher. Okay. You're coming, and I'll just give you an example because a lot of people ask me, I don't have a teacher, right? What do I do? How do I find a teacher? Okay. So if you are connected right now, which we happen to be connected right now, Shantideva Center. Okay, fantastic. It's a center that has really quality, authentic teachings, okay, in a certain lineage, okay, under the direction of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And you go, well, I never met Lama Zopa Rinpoche, or I met him once, or I went to, okay, well, he's available through incredible amount of videos. And there's also a sheet I had given out before, and it's available through the center, of a way to get your practice started, okay? And in there is a link of his advice of your practice. And it's related to a lot of the things I have on the sheet, okay? So again, if you don't know how a teacher, you can just try some of his things, and he's there to guide you. So whether you've met him living or not, he will manifest and guide you. There's no question. Okay? It's not like you're really going to see him necessarily, but that guidance is still incredibly valid, and it really works. It was all the stuff he was telling us when he was alive. It doesn't change. It's fantastic stuff. And that's a way to cultivate your teacher. Okay. So I just wanted to mention a few things to think about when you're doing these practices, and then what we're doing. So the practitioner recognizes through these practices, through the Guru Yoga that we're doing, that those qualities are not just outside. This is you. This is you in your mind. Okay. So in a sense, through this practice, you're rewiring emotional patterns. That's the crux of the Guru Yoga practice. You're rewiring emotional patterns. And devotion and Guru Yoga They help to reshape emotional conditioning. Again, helps you, the mind revolves around sometimes self-criticism, anxiety, comparison, pride and things. And Guru devotion, has you dealing more with gratitude, reverence, love, trust, like that. So you tend to be able to dissolve this sense of separation. That's what Guru Yoga does, the separation of the qualities of the Guru are great, but me, I'm down here, lowly and stupid. No, you end up dissolving that separation so that you're merged ultimately, like that. Okay. Just a few things I wanted to say, if that's helpful for some people to think about. So we're going to go to the Lama Tsong Khapa Guru Yoga, go through it. And let me just wait, before we start, this might be helpful. There are a few questions that we had. Let me see if I can, okay. Okay. Purification, a question about purification. The person says, I've noted 3 places where purification can be done in Guru Yoga. Confession and the 7 limb practice, yep. Before the visualization of the 7 wisdoms, and in some versions of Guru Yoga, before each of the 7 wisdoms. Okay, it says, why before each wisdom if done at the beginning of the 7 wisdoms? I don't understand that question. If you want to, and it says, Lama Zopa Rinpoche recommends a 3-to-1 ratio or purification before the 7 wisdoms. If you're doing 3 malas of miksema, do 2 malas for cleansing and 1 for, okay, yeah. Okay, so first of all, I don't understand the why before each wisdom if done at the beginning of the 7 wisdoms. Can you clarify a little bit of that? Ron?
Yeah, that was me. There are versions that I've seen where they do clear light right before you start each wisdom. So, if you're doing great wisdom, then you imagine clear light purifying you, and then you do, while doing the mixema, you then imagine let's say Manjushri, that kind of thing. So that was what it's not in every version I've seen, but I've seen it.
Right.
Some do it that way.
I think mainly the version that I'm showing you and how I was trained, and there are variations really on everything. It depends on who the teacher is. So these are from commentaries and instructions I've gotten. So again, you have the option with the Lama Tsong Khapa Guru Yoga to the simpler one is where you start doing, and if you mean by clear light, the purifying visualization. So I've got Lama Tsong Khapa and his 2 disciples, and that the straw of light coming out, connecting their hearts, and then coming down through my crown. And that would be one of just general purifying, as it said, all the negativity. So is that what you meant by the clear light purification? Okay. So what I've been trained is that's one you can just do on its own, simple version, great, no problem. If you have time. And then if you want, generally, when you move to the wisdoms, I'm generally then focusing on the visualization for the wisdoms. So you don't, I mean, if you like and you want to do a little bit of the clear light first and then go into the wisdoms, I don't think that's a problem. I think that's okay. And so I think Lama Zopa Rinpoche, when he says, and I'll just take that in, recommends a 3-to-1 ratio purification before. So if you're doing 3 malas of miksema, he said do 2 for cleansing and 1 for achieving. Okay, so just from knowing a little bit of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, what he'd say is, I think you'd have to look at your mind, because sometimes don't we need a little bit more purification? Right? So I think that's why Rinpoche has us doing more purification, and you really, really need to clean before you can receive the good qualities. So that's why he's saying do a little bit of receiving those wisdoms. It comes, no doubt, but really clean, clean, clean. I think it can be helpful. So I imagine that might be why Rinpoche was saying that. Let me go to the next question. Purification. What if I'm only doing 21 miksemas for the session? Does that mean that 7 of them should be purification? Again, I would say to however you feel doing is, if you're only doing 21, do the best you can maybe you can do 21 of the clear light of clean cleansing, and then maybe you can pop in another 21 going through the wisdoms, like a little bit like that. And maybe it's just one day I do 21 with cleansing, the general simple one, and the next day I do 21 just going through some of the wisdoms. And then in addition to what you asked, let me just go back to that question. I think, what's the difference between the purification during confession in the seven limb and the confession before the seven wisdoms? So in the confession limb, so again, this is a seven limb prayer, the Lama Tsong Khapa Guru Yoga, as most of the Guru Yogas have that contained. It's like a paragraph for each one. And again, the Lama Chopa has several verses for each limb, but the simplest is just 7 lines for each limb. It's a very powerful prayer of prostration, paying homage, confession. So when you do confession, there are people that break at that point and say, oh, in confession, I think I'm going to do a little bit longer Vajrasattva. I'm just going to pop that in. You can do that. Some people stop at the confession limb and say, I think I'm going to do my prostrations now. That's your own prerogative, what you feel. Some people just go right through, but they have a little moment of regret and really feeling, and some people don't have time and they just read that verse. And so you really have to see how it fits into your life and your practice. The more, of course, you're able to do, the deeper the purification and the better habits that you're making in the mind. And then let me just go to the next one is, how are these purifications different from doing Vajrasattva? Do they replace needing to do Vajrasattva? Okay, so what I would say is this is just another practice. Like this happens to be a practice I do in the morning, but I like to do my Vajrasattva in the evening, like a separate, like it actually comes in some of my highest Yoga Tantra empowerments, and it does, so I can clean away, so I'll have a better experience in any practice like that. So I would just say a lot of people do Vajrasattva in the evening to clean up anything during the day that we've messed up. It's like that. So we do different types of purification. Some people in the morning like to do prostrations. It gets the blood flowing. Sometimes when I was living in the woods at one point and stepped on an insect accidentally, right there I stopped and did a quick Vajrasattva. So it all fits in based on what you can set your life up, your life practice up. It's all good. So we definitely need a fair amount of purification. And then there's some people in a deeper level who chose to do a Vajrasattva retreat and said, I see the value of that, or they're looking ahead. This is something you can set your life up. We plan our holidays. And I know people that on their bucket list, they'd say, oh, I'm going to go to Italy one day and I'm saving for that. Great. Nothing wrong with that. But there's other people, another bucket list I ask people in death and dying courses is, what about thinking about your bucket list of what qualities you would like to develop in yourself before you die? But here's another part of that bucket list of I want to go to Italy. What about your bucket list of I'm going to do a Vajrasattva retreat before I die? Or I'm going to get started on my Nundro before I die? Or I'm going to be doing, that could be another interesting thing to look at. So I think all of those things have a way of fitting in if that helps. And then let me just look at the last part. Can we focus on one wisdom in a session? No, you can focus on one wisdom, absolutely. And then you have 7, it's nice, there's 7 wisdoms, 7 days of the week. If you feel better and you want to focus on one a day, great. What if I don't have a need for composing or debating wisdom? It's up to you. I think they're all pretty good. What if I want to focus only on the first 4 wisdoms? That's also fine. Rinpoche said, if you're able and you're doing this practice regularly or not, or you don't have the time, at least focus on the first 4, like that. So Ron, is that helpful? Has that gotten to most of your questions? Great. And I thought it would be helpful for everybody to hear because I think some people had similar questions. Great. Okay, so I will make a little time for questions at the end. Let's go back into our practice now, and we're going to run right through it based on this is our 3rd repetition, which is really great because it's that 3 times we really get a little bit more in our minds like that. It can really go a little deeper that we're getting used to it. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Where did it go? Let me open that up again. Sorry, I thought I had it ready. I think I have it here. Here we go. Right there. Okay, let me know if you cannot see the practice. So once again, Lama Tsong Khapa, his two disciples, and again, his implements of the sword and the text, and the sword certainly reminiscent of Manjushri, the Buddha of infinite wisdom, and that is who Lama Tsong Khapa is said to have gotten direct teachings from. And then his two disciples, Gyaltsab Je and Kadrup Je. We're going to start here with refuge and bodhicitta. So I'd like you to place Lama Tsong Khapa and the two disciples in the space in front. Wait, I'm just looking for, wait, hang on one second. Okay. And again, imagine that Lama Tsong Khapa and the two disciples, they're one, especially Lama Tsong Khapa. Again, if you'd like to place at his heart Shakyamuni Buddha, little Buddha, golden in color, and at the Buddha's heart, just feel inseparable. There is His Holiness the Dalai Lama. There is Lama Zopa Rinpoche, whichever teacher you feel, inspired by. If you'd like to do like that, or you can just feel Lama Tsong Khapa in the space in front is one with the Buddha, who's one with your teacher, or one with a particular teacher you'd like to create a connection with that inspires you. And if you'd like, you can imagine around you all these living beings. They could be family members, friends, people that you really like around you, and you're going to be leading them in taking refuge. Imagine we're doing this all together like that. So it kind of again extends the bodhicitta heart that all these beings I can kind of include, even though, we know they're not really there, but I'm thinking of other beings as well, that they can connect. And so let's really think about the words we're saying. And this 4 lines contains the whole path. And really anchor that motivation in your heart. We're going to do this twice in the English, once in the phonetics. I take refuge until I'm enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merits of generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. I take refuge until I'm enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merits of generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. O Sangye Chodanso Kicho Namla Dansu Bardu Dagni Kyab Suchi Dagi Jinso Gipe So Namki Drola Pencher Sangye Drup Parsho. Let's send these 4 immeasurable thoughts out to all the beings around us, and just imagine all the beings in the universe right now who need incredible help. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to abide in equanimity, free from the closeness of attachment and the distance of hatred. May they abide in equanimity. I myself will cause them to abide in equanimity. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. And just briefly, imagine as you inhale You're taking whatever prevents all those beings to experience equanimity. You're drawing it out of them, and it goes right to your heart center where there is a constricted knot of your selfishness, your self-cherishing, and it eliminates that, and leaving you freer, more spacious. As you exhale, you offer them equanimity, and it dissolves into them, bringing that equanimous state of mind. Just take a few breaths. So you can think in Iran right now, if everyone was equanimous, there wouldn't be any war. In the United States, in Israel, wherever these conflicts, everybody would treat everybody with respect and love. Loving kindness, next to measurable. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to achieve Buddhahood. May they achieve Buddhahood. I myself will cause them to achieve Buddhahood. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. This is really the big happiness. So imagine as you inhale, you're taking anything that prevents them from having this incredible loving kindness heart, loving kindness experience, the essence of Buddhahood, and it only comes into you, all those obstacles chipping away at your self-cherishing at your core, and you exhale complete loving kindness to all of them, and it absorbs into them. Next, immeasurable compassion. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they be free from suffering and its causes. I myself will cause them to be free from suffering and its causes. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Can you imagine if everyone was free of suffering? It would be incredible. Okay. So we just plant some seeds of that the possibility is there. One day it will happen. And imagine as you're breathing in, you take all that suffering from all those living beings around the world, comes in and diminishes your self-cherishing at your core, and you offer them freedom from suffering, and it dissolves into them, releasing them from all the pain and suffering. And the last is immeasurable joyfulness. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were never separated from the happiness of higher rebirth and liberation. May they never be separated from these. I myself will cause them never to be separated from these. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. And again, Tonglen taking in anything that prevents them from having this immeasurable joy, ultimate happiness. And those obstacles come and reduce your self-cherishing, and then you offer with your exhalation to all the beings you can imagine, all around the planet, all this immeasurable joy. Here's Lama Tsong Khapa. And now into the heart of the practice. Ganden Lagema. From the heart of the Savior of the 100, so just feel free to read along. From the heart of the Savior of the 100 deities of Tushita, on the peak of a cloud resembling a clump of extremely white, fresh curd, King of Dharma, omniscient Losangdrapa, please come here together with your sons. In the beginning of the 7 limbs, So this one happens to start once again with asking them to stay until samsara ends. So again, imagine you are in front of them and they're higher than the level of your head, Lama Tsong Khapa and the two disciples. Okay, and you're offering a golden lion throne. So many replicas of yourself, if you can visualize, offering these golden lion thrones adorned with jewels. And again, the double vajra in the front that hangs down. We have on some thrones the brocade, which represents a long life. It's a long life symbol. So we want them to stay a long time and help us to get out of samsara. In the sky before me on a lion throne, lotus and moon, my perfect pure guru smiles with delight. As a supreme field of merit for my mind of faith, please abide for hundreds of eons to spread the teachings. Think about if they didn't reincarnate our teachers, where we would be. Unfortunately, we have another generation coming up. Some of you have met His Eminence Ling Rinpoche, His Eminence Tsong Rinpoche, His Eminence Serkong Senchab Rinpoche, right? There's some beautiful lamas in their 40s now coming up and amazing. And where would we be if they didn't come back? So we want to take care of them. We want to make sure we're practicing in the right way that keeps them coming back and teaching us. Prostration. So if you'd like, you can visualize numerous numbers of you making full-length prostrations to Lama Tsong Khapa, inseparable from the Buddha, inseparable from your guru. Your holy mind has the intelligence that understands the full extent of objects to be known. Your holy speech, with its excellent explanations, is an ornament for the ears of those of good fortune. Your holy body is radiantly beautiful with glory renowned. To you who are meaningful to see, hear, and remember, I prostrate. Now imagine offerings extensive. Pleasing drinking water, various flowers, fragrant incense, lights, scented water, and so forth. Oceans of cloud-like offerings, both actually arranged and mentally emanated, I offer to you the supreme field of merit. Imagine these offerings of the finest quality, spreading out, filling all the space, so multiplying. Imagine they are empty of any inherent concrete nature. And imagine these offerings now towering over all the holy shrines you can think of, the nunneries, monasteries, centers, temples, statues, stupas, scriptures, and all of those things that we're offering to are seen as just an emanation of the omniscient mind. One with what we call Dharmakaya, the truth body of the Buddha. In a sense, they also name this the absolute guru. This is what we want to merge ourselves with, that is actually part of our Buddha nature, okay? And the reason we're not Buddhas yet is we're simply a bit obscured. That Buddha nature is obscured until we purify enough, okay? So make this offering, imagine these offerings are towering over shrines like the stupa in Bodh Gaya, where the Buddha got enlightened, the stupas in the Kathmandu Valley in Swayambhu, in Bodha, where some of you have visited, and all those other holy places I mentioned, towering over them, empty in nature, bringing great bliss to the holy minds. And we imagine making these offerings to all the 6 sentient being realms. And these offerings transform into whatever these beings need to immediately eliminate their suffering. The limit confession. Whatever non-virtues of body, speech, and mind I have collected from beginningless time, especially those opposite to the 3 vows, I confess each and every one from my heart with fervent regret. So if you'd like, take a moment, just reflect something you really regret, that you're sorry, and through this practice, we're going to do our purification as best as we can. Rejoicing. You strove to accomplish much hearing in this degenerate age and made your freedoms and richnesses meaningful by abandoning the 8 worldly concerns. Savior, we sincerely rejoice in your extensive deeds. Take a moment to rejoice in your own goodness, your good deeds, and those of all the noble and holy beings. Request to turn the wheel of Dharma. This is asking them to teach. So if you'd like to visualize yourself in the form of a Brahma, numerous replicas of you like that, and you're offering a 1,000-spoked Dharma chakra, a golden wheel that represents teaching, as we recite this verse. Perfect, pure, holy gurus from the billowing clouds of wisdom and compassion in the sky of Dharmakaya, please let fall a rain of profound and extensive Dharma upon the earth of those to be subdued exactly as they need. And the dedication, may whatever virtue I've collected benefit the teachings in all transmigratory beings, and may it especially cause the essence of perfect, pure Losang Drakpa's teachings to shine forever. And then offering a mandala, this world system, imagine the most beautiful world system in the Gelugpa tradition, our tradition of Tibetan Buddhism. It says that imagine on every atom of that world system are infinite more mandalas that we offer. So here it tells you a little bit of what to think about: perfume, flowers, the sun and the moon, things like that. We'll make this offering. I'm going to chant it. We'll read it once in the English, and then I'll do a chant so you hear there's different versions of the chant. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon, I imagine as a Buddha land and offer it. May all transmigratory beings enjoy this pure land. O Saji Bagi Juji Medo Dram Rirab Lingzin in Dengam Padi Sange Zindu Mi De Owayi Drokun Nam Da Jin La Chu Par Shok. And Rinpoche's added this additional prayer. By the merits of offering this mandala to the merit field, may I, my family members, and all sentient beings be able to meet, practice, and actualize the teachings of the victorious one, Losang Drakpa. And we'll go down here to the second line, who lived an eminent life endowed with pure morality, a brave heart in doing the Bodhisattva's extensive deeds, and the yoga of the 2 stages, the supreme transcendental wisdom of non-dual bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niratayami. Let's start with the common meditation, the common visualization. So again, in order for it to become Guru Yoga, important to maintain the awareness that your root guru is inseparable from Lama Tsong Khapa, who is in essence Manjushri, Buddha of infinite wisdom, Chenresig, Buddha of infinite compassion, and Vajrapani, who is the embodiment of the Buddha's power or skillful means. So those 3 deities are one in Lama Tsong Khapa, right? Who's one with your root guru. If you don't have a root guru, once again, just think of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, another inspiring teacher for you, like that. And then we can read. So try to, as much as you can, try to have that sense. And I know it's hard to keep that in your mind until we're more and more familiar. By the force of my having fervently requested in this way, from the hearts of the 3, the perfect pure father and sons, that's Lama Tsong Khapa and the 2 disciples, hollow beams of white light are emitted, and combining into one, enter my crown. So imagine this straw of light coming down through your crown. Just do the best you can with the visualization. White nectar, the color of milk, flows from the opening of the tube of white light, cleansing away all my sicknesses, spirit harms, negative karmas, obscurations, and their imprints. Without exception, my body becomes as pure and clear as crystal. So you do your best, and I really want to thank Ron for his questions, because it tells me that he's really practicing. He's going through, you go through and then you go, oh, I have a question about that, and that's coming up. And so I really appreciate that. So this is the Miksema mantra. Again, this is what we complete and what we recite to do this Guru Yoga Nundro in our tradition. And we're going to do the best we can. Let's start in English. And we're going to do a series, and we're going to just do some first with the cleansing, and then we'll go through the different wisdoms. And just do the best you can. Do the best you can. What's important is that you have faith that something is cleaning. Not only that, something is bringing blessings to you. And I really have a lot of faith that Lama Zobrimshe knows we're here right now doing this. He's very happy we're doing it. He's kind of one with Lama Tsong Khapa. Sometimes I think of them kind of joking around together, and, make them come to life, make them real. It makes it more fun for you like that. Let's do the best we can. Chenrezi, great treasure of non-objectifying compassion. Manjushri, master stainless wisdom. Lord of secrets, destroyer of the entire host of Maras. Tsong Khapa, crown ornament of the sages of the land of snow. Losang Drakpa, at your holy feet I make requests. Now, if you're doing this on your own as a nundro, as this preliminary practice, it will get faster as you recite, and eventually you memorize it, right? And you can do it as quickly as you can, as long as it's clear, like that. So let's recite again. We'll go a little faster. Keeping your mind focused, though. Chenrezi, great treasure of non-objectifying compassion. Manjushri, master stainless wisdom. Lord of secrets, destroyer the entire host of Maras. Tsong Khapa, crown ornament of the sages of the land of snow. Losang drop at your feet, I make requests. Let's do it a third time. Chenrezi, great treasure of non-objectifying compassion. Manjushri, master stainless wisdom. Lord of secrets, destroyer the entire host of Maras. Tsong Khapa, crown ornament of the sages of the land of snow. Losang drop at your feet, I make requests. So feel free, if you'd like to continue in English. I'm also going to do a few in the Tibetan phonetics with you. I find it flows a little easier for me. Mi me te wei ter chen chen rei zi, dri me gempe wampo jumpel yang, tupu malu jam ze sang wei dak, gan chen gebe tu gen Tsong Khapa, Lozandra be zabla so wa deb. And you don't even need to chant it, you can just read it. Me me te wei ter chen chen rei zi, dri me gempe wampo jumpel yang, tupu malu jam ze sang wei dak, gan chen gebe tu gen Tsong Khapa, Lozandra be zabla so wa de mi me te wei ter chen chen rei zi, dri me gempe wampo jumpel yang, tupu malu jam ze sang wei dak, gan chen gebe tu gen Tsong Khapa, Lozandra be zabla so wa de. So I just want to give you an experience of how, as you do it, any of these nundro, any of the practices you do, through familiarity and habit, those mantras get faster and faster and faster, as long as it's clear. And again, trying to have your mind really focused clearly, mindfully on the visualization as best as you can. Of course, sometimes we wander, it's natural. Just keep bringing your mind back, okay? But you have to do it your pace. The pace will quicken slowly, but you do want to make sure you're reciting all of the correct syllables and things like that so that it's clear. Let's try your best. And now we're just doing the visualization of purifying. So try your best. Me me je we je jen jen we zi je me ge ba wan ba jam ba yang. Du bu ma lo jam zi sang we da gan chen ke bei chu ken Tsong Khapa lo sandra bei sab la so wa de. Let's go through some of the wisdoms. So again, we just happen to do a few minutes right now. So I want to give you a sense on your own. You can roll, how it feels to sit like that. Again, depending on your time. Some days you're going to have less time, so you're going to do more quickly and just do a few mantras. Sometimes you might extend and try to get through a mala and see what that feels like. Get a little bit more concentrated. So great wisdom. Please bless me to achieve great wisdom, which is unimpeded in discerning the meanings of the infinite scriptures. And once again, great wisdom flows forth in the form of orange nectar, whereby my body is filled, and light radiates from the atoms of the nectar, which are clarified in the form of perfect pure manjushris. So there's an image of manjushri there on the screen. The great wisdom of the victorious ones of the 10 directions and their sons absorbs into me in the form of the bodies of the deity, whereby my body is filled. We'll just do a few with this wisdom. Try your best. And back to the mantra, the same mantra, just different visualization. So do whichever one. If you want to do English, if you want to do the phonetics, feel free. And the next wisdom, clear wisdom. Please bless me to achieve clear wisdom, which clarifies the detailed, subtle, and difficult vital points without mixing them up. Once again, clear wisdom flows forth in the form of orange nectar, and that again is coming from Lama Tsong Khapa, his disciples, right through your crown, whereby my body is filled. And light radiates from the atoms of that nectar, which are clarified in the form of Arapatsana, part of Manjushri's mantra. The clear wisdom of the victorious ones of the 10 directions and their sons absorbs into me in the form of the mantras, whereby my body is filled. So you can visualize these little orange strands of mantra, like little sunbeams coming in, filling your entire being. Let's go to the next wisdom. Quick wisdom. Please bless me to achieve quick wisdom, which quickly cuts through misunderstanding, non-understanding, misunderstanding, and doubt. And once again, quick wisdom flows forth in the form of orange nectar, whereby my body is filled. Light radiates from the atoms of the nectar, which are clarified in the form of orange D syllables. So you can visualize either DHIH, little orange like little sunbeams again, or the syllable that you see on the screen, the Tibetan syllable. Either is fine. The quick wisdom of the victorious ones of the 10 directions and their sons absorbs into me in the form of the seed syllables, whereby my body is filled. Next, wisdom. So these are the first main four. Profound wisdom. Please bless me to achieve profound wisdom, which is unfathomable in its discerning the meanings of the scriptures. And once again, profound wisdom flows forth in the form of orange nectar, whereby my body is filled. Light radiates from the atoms of the nectar, which are clarified in the form of texts and swords. The profound wisdom of the victorious ones of the 10 directions and their sons absorbs into me in the form of the hand implements whereby my body is filled. So in the form of the swords and texts. And then we do the mantra with that visualization. The fifth wisdom, wisdom of explaining. Please bless me to achieve the wisdom of explaining, which gives supreme ascertainment regarding all words and their meanings. Once again, the wisdom of explaining flows forth in the form of orange nectar, whereby my body is filled. Light radiates from the atoms of the nectar, which are clarified in the form of the texts that are explained. The wisdom of explaining the victorious ones of the 10 directions and their sons absorbs into me in the form of the texts, whereby my body is filled. Next wisdom, wisdom of debating. Please bless me to achieve the wisdom of debating, which thoroughly deprives evil propounders of their self-confidence. Once again, the wisdom of debating flows forth in the form of orange nectar, whereby my body is filled. Light radiates from the atoms of the nectar, which are clarified in the form of wheels of swords. The wisdom of debating of the victorious ones of the 10 directions and their sons absorbs into me in the form of the wheels, these sword wheels, whereby my body is filled. So visualizing the sword wheels. And the last wisdom, wisdom of composing. Please bless me to achieve the wisdom of composing, which gives rise to a joyous, clear understanding of the excellent words and their meanings. Once again, the wisdom of composing flows forth in the form of orange nectar, whereby my body is filled. Light radiates from the atoms of the nectar, which are clarified in the form of texts and wheels. The wisdom of composing of the victorious ones of the 10 directions and their sons absorbs into me in the form of the texts and wheels, whereby my body is filled. Visualizing that. Kanchen kepe tu ken Tsong Khapa lo sandrabe zabla soadeb. So again, if you're doing this and you don't have a lot of time, you just imagine you're doing the clear light, the purification, and you're just going through that as many as you can, and then you come to this request. So you could skip the wisdoms if you don't have enough time. Sometimes when you have the time, go through the wisdoms, go through one of the wisdoms, each, take a different one every day. And now we have this request. May my wisdoms of listening, reflecting, and meditating increase. May my wisdoms of explaining, debating, and composing develop. May I be granted the supreme and common realizations. Please bless me to quickly become like you. May my wisdoms of listening, reflecting, and meditating increase. May my wisdoms of explaining, debating, and composing develop. May I be granted the supreme and common realizations. Please bless me to quickly become like you. May my wisdoms of listening, reflecting, and meditating increase. May my wisdoms of explaining, debating, and composing develop. May I be granted the supreme and common realizations. Please bless me to quickly become like you. May my transcendental wisdom of simultaneously born great bliss arise. May my stains of mistakenly grasping things as real be purified. May my net of doubts that is only mine be cut. Please bless me to quickly become like you. So this is relating to emptiness, is mistakenly grasping things as real. May that be purified. Okay. May my transcendental wisdom of simultaneously born great bliss arise. May my stains of mistakenly grasping things as real be purified. May my net of doubts that is only mine be cut. Please bless me to quickly become like you. One more time. May my transcendental wisdom of simultaneously born great bliss arise. May my stains of mistakenly grasping things as real be purified. May my net of doubts that is only mine be cut. Please bless me to quickly become like you. Then if you don't have time, because this is not part, the foundation of all good qualities is not part of the formal text, but Rinpoche's added these things because it's beneficial for our mind. It really helps us make progress. If you don't have time, you skip through. If you have some time and you can add it in, you can read it. If you have a little bit more time, you want to read it and do some meditation on the Lamrim, because on the side you're exploring the Lamrim and reading and studying a little bit of what to meditate on. It's extremely powerful for your mind. So again, that sheet that I've given out, I think I sent that through to Sheila and Patty, that make it available to you, has the links of directly where you go to see the Lamrim outline, so you know what to meditate on, some of the basic Lamrim books, and ways that guide you in how to really effectively meditate on the Lamrim like that. I'm going to be leading some of that in the Thursday nights for Amsterdam, so it would be afternoon for you. If some people want to do, we're going to have a few sessions like that on the Lamrim and things like that. You can participate, or you can find some things online. Let's read this one time through. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and perfect Guru. Correctly following the Guru is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon the Guru with great respect. And we're going to stop at one point and have some Lamrim meditation briefly. When I have discovered that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is extremely difficult to find again, and is greatly meaningful, please bless me to unceasingly generate the mind, taking its essence day and night. This body and life are changing like a water bubble. Remember how quickly they perish and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of black and white karma follow. So please take a moment, and we're going to meditate just briefly on death and impermanence. Okay. So I just want you to reflect right now. You could close your eyes and just briefly reflect. And I know that some people feel this is morbid. It brings the mind down a little bit. But are you ready? Are you ready to die? Do you have everything prepared, everything in place? How's your mind? Is your mind feeling buoyant and spacious and peaceful? to be ready for that transition? Have you settled and done all the things you wanted to do? Mainly, there's all those activities of what we want to do every day. We get up and we go through the rote, go through the grind for some people, okay? And I ask you again, how is your mind? What is your mind directed on? It's those thoughts and imprints and habits that are going to be there in your mind, those that are most prevalent. What are they? How is your mind directed most of the day? Just be honest with yourself gently. You're only observing. It's not that it's good or bad, not that you're a terrible person or a great person. You're simply observing. And let's observe now, while you still have some control over your life, to just gently observe of what you really need to do to get your mind into a better place. Death is coming. There is nothing you can do to prevent that from happening. It's the one thing you can really count on. So think about all the other plans we make, all those other things. You don't know if they're going to happen. But your death, that's going to happen. Can you feel that a little bit in your bones? It might be a little scary at first, but that is definitely going to happen. Are you ready? So I want you to think realistically right now, realistically. What can you do right now in your life, starting tomorrow, to get yourself a little bit better prepared? And I want you to plan it a little bit right now in your mind and make it realistic. One small adjustment. Determine in your heart, tomorrow, this is what I'm going to do. So really, I'm talking about something with your practice. What are you going to do? Can you make that determination right now with conviction? Tomorrow, why wait any longer? This is what I'm going to do. Please try to do that. Make a plan right now. Let it permeate your very being. Let's read on. When I have found definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be conscientious in abandoning even the slightest collection of shortcomings and in accomplishing all virtuous deeds. When I have recognized the shortcomings of samsaric perfections, there's no satisfaction in enjoying them. They are the door to all suffering, and they cannot be trusted. Please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Through my being led by this pure thought with great remembrance, alertness, and conscientiousness, please bless me to make keeping the individual liberation vows the root of the teachings, my essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother migratory beings, transmigratory beings. By my seeing this, please bless me to train in supreme bodhicitta, which bears the responsibility of freeing transmigratory beings. Even if I develop only bodhicitta without familiarizing myself with the three types of morality, I cannot achieve enlightenment. By my seeing this well, please bless me to keep the vow of the sons of the victorious ones with fervent effort. By my having pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to quickly generate within my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. When I have become a suitable vessel by training in the common path, please bless me to immediately enter the holy gateway of the fortunate beings, the supreme of all vehicles, the Vajrayana. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping my vows and samayas purely. When I have gained effortless conviction in this, please bless me to protect them even at the cost of my life. Then, when I have realized exactly the vital points of the two stages, the essence of the tantric sets, and am enjoying the yoga of 4 sessions with effort, without being distracted by non-meditation objects, please bless me to accomplish these according to the teachings of the holy beings. Thus may the virtuous friends who reveal the noble path and the spiritual practitioners who correctly accomplish it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely the collections of outer and inner obstacles. In all my lives never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma, and by completing the qualities of the grounds and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. So that completes the foundation of all good qualities, the Lamrim prayer. So again, if you didn't have time, you'd come right here, and this is part of the text, request to abide at the heart. So you'd finish your mantras, maybe recite some of the wisdom, some not, and come right here. So it's actually quite a short practice, just the essence of the practice, but Rinpoche's embellished it a bit to give us an opportunity to accumulate more merit and to purify more negativities. Let's read these requests. Magnificent and precious root Guru, please abide on the lotus and moon at my heart. Guide me with your great kindness and grant me the realizations of your holy body, speech, and mind. So again, very profound requests. There's 3 of them. So really feel in your heart. Next one. Magnificent and precious root Guru, please abide on the lotus and moon at my heart. Guide me with your great kindness and grant me the supreme and common realizations. 3rd one. Magnificent and precious root Guru, please abide on the lotus and moon at my heart. Guide me with your great kindness and remain steadfast until I attain the essence of enlightenment. So let's imagine Lama Tsong Khapa, the 2 disciples, and if you have any other additional requests there, personal requests you'd like to make, can make them there, but asking for, again, the essence of enlightenment. Doesn't get any better than that. Okay. And so, again, if you haven't had highest yoga tantra, you're going to imagine the 2 disciples absorb into Lama Tsong Khapa, along with their thrones, and then Lama Tsong Khapa absorbs from the edges of that visualization, along with the throne, into the center, into a brilliant golden drop of light. Okay? Without highest yoga tantra, you absorb that light into your forehead. That drop dissolves into your forehead, and feel the blessings for your body, speech, and mind. Connected. You're never separate. This is Guru, absolute Guru, completely blessing your entire being. All of those qualities contained in Lama Tsong Khapa, who is inseparable from Guru, inseparable from the deities, Manjushri, Chenrezig, Vajrapani, all inseparable from the Buddha. All of that is blessing your body, speech, and mind. Those qualities are within you all the time. We just have obscuration from feeling that all the time. This helps you release you from those obscurations. So take a moment right now, feeling these blessings, feeling this absorption. And just look at what arises in your mind. Look at any thoughts that bubble up. And look at all the mundane things we tend to be focused on. How important are all of those thoughts? So certainly we have some plans we need to take care of. We have work that we do, general life's experiences. But what happens when the troubling negative thoughts come up? What if we could just let them go, watch them fly off for a moment, and thinking again about the blessings from Lama Tsong Khapa, who's inseparable from the Guru, inseparable from the deities of that highest level of wisdom, compassion, power, that skillful means to get enlightened. Everything contained manifest in the Buddha. Let that sift through our thoughts. Why not have that pattern our mental energy more and more than all the negative, mundane things we think about that take over? So the more you connect with this practice, and practices like this, that's more and more where your thinking is, or more and more where you can recover from having negative, critical thoughts, from having delusions arise. I can more quickly remind yourself, more quickly remind myself, recenter, this is where I want to be. Connect with the blessings of that energy. And notice any sense of the I that appears, that strong, dominant sense of yourself that seems to exist in its own right, with its own character, from its own side, inherently, concretely. That I doesn't exist at all. Complete hallucination. So there is a conventional I, you sitting here trying to do this meditation, that you need to take care of, but inherently existent, concretely solid, that doesn't exist at all. So please relax, and we'll do our dedication prayers. And when you have more time, you can spend more time in meditation if you like that, and slowly add that in and come to that in many other practices. Dedications. By the force of the victorious one, Tsong Khapa, acting as my direct Mahayana virtuous friend in all my lives, May I never turn away for even a second from the pure path highly admired by the victorious ones. May I be able to live a life of pure morality, listen to many teachings, train in bodhicitta, and have pure view and conduct without corrupting the teachings of Losang Drakpa, the second victorious one. Glorious Guru, whatever your holy body, retinue, lifespan, and realm, whatever your supreme and beneficial holy name, may I and others become exactly like that. And due to the 3 times merits collected by me, the numberless Buddhas, the numberless sentient beings, may I, my family members, all those sentient beings who rely upon me, all those for whom I promise to pray, all those whose names have been given to me, all the students, benefactors, and volunteers in the FPMT organization, and all other sentient beings be able to meet perfectly qualified Mahayana virtuous friends in all our future lives. From our side, may we always see them as enlightened. May we always do only actions most pleasing to their holy minds, and may we always fulfill their holy wishes instantly. May I not give rise to heresy for even a second in regard to the actions of the glorious Guru. May I see whatever actions are done as the stainless actions of a Buddha. With this devotion, may I receive the Guru's blessings in my heart. And the long life prayer for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Incomparably kind and supreme Tenzin Gyatso, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, may you have a long life and all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. So that concludes the Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga practice. One variety, one way you can do. And I'd like to just ask before we close, are there any questions right now? Anything that's confusing? Yes, please, Wiley.
Yes, I just wanted to ask, is it okay until we do get more familiar with it in order to memorize it, that we do go ahead and do it like this, where we're reading it and then stopping and going back up to do the visualization and that sort of thing?
Yeah, to recite the mantra back and forth, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you don't have it memorized, you have to go back and read the mantra. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. No problem at all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This was
And
great.
again, when you recite it out loud over and over, you'd be surprised in a couple of weeks. You'll usually have it down like that. Some people it takes a little longer, some not, but that anything you recite out loud, you'll memorize. If not, you won't. It's very hard to memorize. So keep at
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
There's a question in the chat, Venerable Amy, from
Oh,
Elijah.
yes. Okay, so it says, oh, you didn't receive the sheet from me, Patty? I sent it again. I don't know why some of my emails are not going through to you and Sheila, but
No, I'm asking the
Oh.
group here if they didn't receive it to please let me know, because
Oh,
it did
great.
go out.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's great. Okay, so should you verbally read out the parts that describe the visualizations of the wisdoms entering? So the thing is, you don't need to read those once you're familiar with those. So again, those 7 wisdoms, once you know what you're meditating, it's better to meditate and not, you don't need all the words. But again, sometimes if you're losing concentration, you can go back and say some of the words. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Freya?
Good morning. Thank you so much for teaching, Venerable. Or good evening, good night almost. I just wanted to ask, because now we put quite a lot of emphasis on reciting the mantra quickly. I personally like to do it like very slowly when visualizing the wisdoms. Is that also okay? Because I feel more connected actually
Yes.
because chanting it in a beautiful melody, I prefer that over
That's also
doing it
totally
quickly.
fine. And there are some chants that go along with it that you can recite.
Yeah.
So absolutely, you could do it. It's just more when people are counting a nundro, they're trying to get
Yeah.
through a certain number. So it really depends what you're doing. But when you do nundro, you don't want to get too lost in the quantities, because people do. It's always hard when you're doing a nundro and you want to finish 100,000 of something. You do get, it's natural that you get kind of caught up, and then you have to kind of go back and go. And Rinpoche, we always stress quality over quantity, as many of the teachers do. It's really important. Yeah. Okay, great. Let's conclude with the long life for Rinpoche, Lama Zopa Rinpoche to return. I'm going to share this. This is really essential that we do. Thank you. we'll do the one, read the one from His Holiness. Again, really feeling in our heart for Rinpoche to come back in the most optimal situation. Peerless teacher and assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, victorious Losang father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make requests. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and for mother living beings you suddenly departed to peace, what a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels, and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. I'd like to thank Shanti Davis Center. I'd really like to thank Patty tonight for hosting and being here with us, and all of you for joining. It's lovely to see all of you. I really, please try to do this practice if it's helpful. It will change your life, okay? But what happens is we want to see quick results. And this is not a path like that, but it really does make a difference. And you'll notice, just keep at it and keep adding these practices and doing things. And I think it really, really will have a very, very positive effect on your mind state. No question about it. So I hope I'll see you. I'll be back in New York in July. Looking forward to that, and hope some of you can join, and we'll figure out what we're going to do. And in the meantime, I wish you all the best and stay well. And thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Venerable Amy.
Thank you.